go. Good afternoon. My name is Mario, and I'm one of the chefs here at Cooking with Carlo and at 3Bs. And today I'm going to be preparing a traditional polenta. I love polenta. It's a great thing to cook with. One of the things that we try to do here at Cooking with Carlo is try to get those favorite foods that our mothers and our grandmothers used to make and add a little bit of flair to them. So polenta is a great appetizer, but it can also be served as a main meal. So what we're going to do is we are using a traditional polenta, and I have about a cup in here. I brought about 4 cups of water to a rolling boil. Now, the trick to polenta is you want to make sure that that you whisk it. It's going to stick together very much like grits, and so it's very important that you whisk it. You're going to add a little bit of sea salt to it, salt to taste, and I like to add just a little bit of pepper. Now, we're going to whisk this for about 15 minutes. And the trick to polenta is that in 15 minutes time, it's going to taste like it's ready. However, this is where it's real critical. You're going to get a little tired whisking it, and that's going to prevent it from clumping together. But in 15 minutes time, it should be ready. But then I want you to keep going for another 15 minutes. And that is going to allow the polenta to get a little bit of a creamier consistency. And also, it's going to release the sweetness of the cornmeal into the polenta itself. If you like it a little bit gritty, I would say do it for about 25 minutes. But you do want to add those extra 10 to 15 minutes to making the polenta. So once the polenta is done, what I'm going to do is I want you to get a cookie sheet, just a traditional cookie pan, and you're going to pour the polenta in it. Be careful because it's very hot. Just like that. And you want to spread the polenta very evenly over the cooking pan and allow that to set and cool. So what I do is I take my polenta, I put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes. At that point, it's ready to go. While the polenta is in the refrigerator, what I'm going to do is toast some ingredients. And so I have some Italian pine nuts, which add a real earthy flavor to the polenta. And I'm going to put them in a pan, and I'm going to toast them. No oil at this point. So you just really want the pine nuts to change color. Now, the color, as soon as they start to brown a little bit, the pine nuts are ready. They really don't need a lot of work, but they add a lot of flavor to it. So what I'm going to do also is add a little bit of caraway seed. Now, caraway seed is a very strong flavored spice, and so you just want to add a pinch to it. Once that's ready, and it starts to toast nice and brown, you're going to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, of course. And now it's going to start to sear. And you're going to saute this for about a minute on high heat. Really bring out the oils in the pine nuts and some of the oils outside of the caraway. So while that's going on, I have my polenta in my refrigerator, and it should be ready. And this is what the polenta should look like. It's very firm, and now it's easy to work with. And you can have a lot of fun with this, especially with kids. You can cut the polenta in different shapes. I like to do polenta nuggets at home. It's real versatile because it's the base of your dish. What we're doing for our purposes today is we are going to add a pan-seared polenta, and we're going to add just a few ingredients. So now I've got my pine nuts. You pour in there, and they're ready to go. And I'm going to cut my polenta pull it out with a spatula. You want to bring your pan to a medium heat. Again, add just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to the pan. And what we're doing is the bottom of the polenta is going to be very moist, and the top is going to have a little bit of a dryness to it because it was cooling. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to sear both ends to keep that moisture in the polenta. And it doesn't need long. About 30 seconds on each side, and it should make it really crispy. So now that the polenta is ready, I'm going to take my seared polenta I'm going to put it on a plate. I'm going to add gorgonzola cheese. Now you can use a blue cheese, but I like to use gorgonzola because it's sharper and it's creamier. And that's the important thing about it. Blue cheese tends to be a little bit drier, and I like that kick that the blue cheese gives. So I'm going to pour the blue cheese right on top of the polenta. It doesn't have to melt. And then we're going to add our pine nuts, which are now a nice toasted color. We're going to add a little bit of pepper, a touch of salt, a few diced tomatoes on top, parsley, and now here's the kicker. What I like to use is called Mugoglio syrup. Mugoglio syrup it's kind of hard to come by, but you can get it in a lot of gourmet shops online. And what it is, it's a pine bud syrup made in Italy, and they pick the buds off of the pine tree, and then they let them ferment and cook it in sugar. So it's got a very smooth taste, but just a little bit of that earthiness that we like with the pine nuts. And you don't have to use a lot. I mean, you're talking just a light glaze, just to give it that sweetness. A balsamic reduction. And then, lastly, a little bit of orange zest on top. The whole dish should take you about half an hour to make, and this is a really great appetizer or main course that you can wow your guests with, and very simple to make, and very healthy too. And that's the simple way to make Grandma's polenta with a gourmet flair to it, and that's what we love doing here at Cooking with Carlo. Enjoy. Cheers, salute, and may your tables be surrounded by friends and loved ones and delicious food. God bless.